Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kol Yom La, Adonai Yahweh, Pashem Shalom Lak, Yahushai, Bashar Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, peace, citation, hope for light, Shalom. And that's how this video is going to be. There are too many simps, even in families. So I will title the video something to that effect. And, you know, simps are usually referred to like as, men that pretty much worship women, and those are men that usually bow down to women and would pretty much believe that a woman is a god is a woman, and they're in that type of spirit. And the way they act, it's like they carry out that vibration. So even if they don't say it, they sure as hell act like they fucking go by that belief, and it's really a fucked up thing, because it's like you will see a lot of men all the time saying, oh, they'll put your hands on a woman, knowing damn well the fucking bitch just punch you in your face. Because first of all, if any bitch put their hands on me, she getting her shits fucked up. Especially if she hit me in my face. And I'm honestly going to hit you with the same amount of force that you hit me. And if you try to act crazier and try to attack, with extreme force, then I'm going to knock your ass down like you're a man. Because you're going to learn your place one way or the fucking other. And, one thing about these women, they will pretty much get like another man that they know, either in their family or their friends. That's what they do. So it could be their father, their cousin, their brother, whatever relative. And they would try to come at you, just because you would retaliate and fuck them up for trying to attack you. And you did that in self-defense. Right? And then it's like, and this is mostly our women pretty much. And, the problem where you see like how a lot of them are just, trying to act like they want to be like queens, like they want to be over men. So they pretty much are in that wrong mindset, that Jezebel spirit, where they want to usurp authority over man. But this is what the scripture says. It says, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Exactly. And another thing about like a lot of these men too is that a lot of them don't really, like, they can't function or whatever without a woman. Like, that's how America's always portraying men in this time and days. And it's like a lot of men are pretty much under that form of witchcraft by learning everything from the media, and they think that, oh, it's okay because it's a film in the end of the day. Because whatever they watch on TV, that pushes that wicked ass vibration where they kind of claim that a woman is smart, that everything that a man, pretty much like every decision that he makes in his life, they want a woman to always think for that man. You know what I mean? Like the woman is pretty much the most knowledgeable, like the most logical, knowing damn well in the scriptures that the man is the one that's the head of the woman. That's what the scripture says. And Esau thinking that women are supposed to be over men. And it's a really fucked up thing, because in my family, I'll let you know this right now, that my mom's uncle, which is pretty much my great uncle, on my mom's side, that's my mom's uncle. His name is Uncle Willie, right? I could say this in the video because, obviously none of my family members watch any videos, only my little brother. So, because they don't care about the truth like how me and my younger brother do. So, yeah, this is the fucked up shit now. So, he, which is my great uncle, we call him Uncle Willie, he found my, well, what you would call like pretty much his wife, which will pretty much be my aunt, my great aunt. He found her with a kid. Well, actually with two kids. And he's so fucking dumb. What he does is that he claims that those kids are his, right? And he has a kid out there that's actually his blood. And and it's like it's so retarded because it's like, and I feel bad for that kid, which is Nini, which she's pretty much like I think she's in her 40s or so. Yeah. And it's like, I pretty much feel bad for her because it's like she kind of acts a little bit like I guess like she's like a little like a teenager in a way, her mindset. But I mean, um she doesn't seem like she's what you call it, like disrespectful as far as I've been around her, pretty much because I've only been around her to the point where like she will come over and visit like for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or so, like around those holidays, yeah. And then I was like, just pretty much, you know, disappointed to pretty much hear that, like, that's his actual real daughter. My mom had to tell me that, all that shit, because I didn't really know about the situation that much. And when it's coming to the, my great uncle's wife, so his wife, basically, we call her, like, her name is Sabeda, and she pretty much, what does she do? She would say that she don't want the kids to come around that much. For some reason, she don't want them around that much. I don't know why. Um, and these are his grandkids. These are Uncle Willie's grandkids, right? And she has a say over the house. I mean, she has a say whatever goes on in the house. So basically, she wears the pants in the relationship, you know. And I heard how Uncle Willie found her. He found her in a brothel, like a whorehouse, basically, in Santo Domingo. Because since he pretty much did things with business, like he was selling, my uncle was selling gold and shit like that. My great uncle, that's what he was doing, and he did other business things as well. Got even um something in construction. So he was pretty much like making like business moves and shit. And when he was younger, he was making a lot of money, but he kind of like he wasn't doing right with his money, and he didn't treat his daughter right. So that story kind of reminded me with my dad and how he treated the rest of my siblings as well. you know I mean, he was a little there, but he wasn't really like that much involved as a father supposed to be. Because like I said, I could have did so much things in life if he actually took out his money and actually supported me as he was supposed to. Could have had scholarships, and shit like that if he put me in programs and shit with sports. But that's how fucking cheap he was. But main point I want to talk about, like, my great uncle. So yeah, and what else he does is that he when he was doing that business shit, he found her in Santo Domingo and he was over there. She felt like, I mean, because like he was old enough to basically be her father. So yeah, she's like what, I think in her late 40s or early, maybe something like that, and he's like in his 80s now. So yeah, when he met her, pretty much like she saw opportunities through him. And in Santo Domingo, she was like poor. So she was smart though. She was very smart because she um pretty much like married him, make sure she married him and shit like that. And he's a dumbass because what he did was he put everything in her name, right? The house in Santo Domingo that he has, I think he threw down like what, like maybe, I think that house was like $250,000 or some shit like that, like about 250,000. But that house is really big, and what she did was she put her family there. So now, since it's in her name, he can't do nothing about it. So there'd be times he'd be complaining about, oh, he gonna live there and it's his house at the end of the day. And now, motherfucker, you're screwed. You know, you put that in her name and shit like that, so she has a say. And every time, he always says that he's gonna go to Santo Domingo here and there, which he rarely even goes because what, like, I'm on the phone with him, he says, oh, you know, his wife went, he didn't go. It's always the same bullshit. And it's like, she pretty much have him, like, you know, in the house most of the time. She's always out the house. So basically, like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if she's getting, you know, popped by other men out there, or she's, you know, yeah, playing the whore. But she pretty much is smart though, and she's good with hair, so that's how she, you know, she makes money and stuff like that. And she pretty much has like a smartphone, and he has a track phone, one of those government track phones, you know. And it's like, you're a real fucking simp, like, you know. Cause how you letting this woman rule your fucking life? You know, she does everything for you. I mean, well, she makes all the decisions for you and all that shit. And it's like, this man can't think for himself. And then there be times where he says that he's gonna kick his son, like, you know, well, his stepson, because those kids that he have, those two kids, I mean, because they're, first, for one, they're very light. Because my great uncle, he's like a little darker than me, you know. And my what you call it, my great uncle's wife, which is a beta, she's you know, just as light as me. So that pretty much, that would mean that those kids that Sabeda pretty much had, so okay, that would mean that those kids that pretty much that my aunt Sabeda had, that means that those kids had a light skinned father. And mom knows, you know, she knows the story and everything. So my mom, because after all, that's her uncle. So, and it's kind of crazy that he calls those kids his kids. And you know, if it was for my uncle, my great uncle's sister that, you know, died, she would have said that he those are not his kids. She would have said the truth. She would have said it right there on the spot during the family you know, meeting or so. Like, you know, like when family have their, you know, reunions on, you know, Christmas or, you know, Thanksgiving, all that other, you know, holidays and stuff. Yeah, she would say it right there. But there was one time where she did some shit like that, and then you know, Uncle Willie didn't want to talk to her at all. You know, I don't know how long he kept that up with her, but he was pretty much like pissed off, and he holds grudges like that. So there's even times where my other great uncle, which is Uncle Carlos, which is his brother, he speaks to him and tells him like, yo, about his wife. Like, he tells him the truth about his wife, how she's basically making you a simp and playing you like a fool. So he tells him the truth. But he don't want to, and all to now, like, he didn't talk to him for like a few months. That's what Uncle Carlos was telling me. So you see, and it's like, this is why you shouldn't be like, I mean, because I don't say nothing pretty much, because, you know, I would know he would do the same shit with me, obviously, like, you know. So I don't say nothing to him. And this is how it is when you tell somebody the truth. You're just telling them to help them. He doesn't want to take that as advice. He takes it like you're hurting him. And it's like, you want to stay a fool where you're carrying on your stupid feelings. I mean, for a woman that's basically playing you and basically treating you like you're supposed to be, you know, like her child. And at this point, he's already old. He can't really do nothing really sexually with her and all that shit. So, you know, she wants to be free. And I know she can't wait for him to die. I'm just saying, because she's you know, already at the point where she just want to go. You know, she want to do whatever the hell she want. And there was one time where I heard well, his wife's idea was to open up the restaurant, so, but he should have opened up a beauty salon where she do hair, since she's good at that. So stupid, because I see her doing the hair at the house, you know, at the apartment. But that they live in the Bronx. So she does hair there in, you know, her apartment. And what you call it, and it's a shame that I can't even really say that it's his apartment because she's the one that makes the orders and calls the shots in the apartment building. Well, in the apartment room, I meant. But yeah. So there was another thing that yeah, he basically had a restaurant, right? Which obviously, you know, he most likely put it in her name. And I heard one time she was, I don't know, talking to some other guy there, like flirting with some other guy, and then Uncle Willie was coming around, and then so Beta kind of hit the guy or whatever, or so. Yeah. But honestly, like, I felt like Uncle Willie, like, he caught his judgment with the Most High, you know, because that restaurant didn't last that long, because he did something stupid, like he bought, you know, the TVs and stuff, so he kind of wasted his money on that, you know. And usually when it comes to restaurants, those businesses are very competitive, like within food service, so you gotta be hella good in that. So he pretty much made a mistake and failed in that. And that was one of the businesses that went down that he had. And what you call it? A lot of these you know, men nowadays, like, they just have that feminine, like, I don't know, mindset. Like, they're too weak, and they need to put their foot down in a relationship and let their woman know their place, you know. And it's like, it's horrible because many times on, you know, films, like cartoons, yeah, even in cartoons, and you have animes and what you call it, and movies in Hollywood, and even like TV shows, whether they be animated or live action. A lot of the times they will show that simping shit to make it look like, oh, that shit is cool, or it's a cute thing to let your woman be manly, to let your woman basically have a you know, the spirit that the man is supposed to have, and making your man be effeminate, you know. This is the mindset that's portrayed on films, and this is the type of shit that America likes to do to weaken the men, and it's fucked up. I'm gonna bring out another scripture. And another thing about her, like, this is what the scriptures say about you know, the relationship. Basically, it says, Ecclesiasticus 26, verse 23, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. Exactly. Salakia, that's just Satan through all these fucking sirens. But the point that I wanted to make about that scripture was, you know, is going like Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse I think it was 26 if I'm not mistaken, but it was definitely around there where it says, like, you know, that whoso pleaseth Yahweh Bashem Yashar, he will escape that wicked woman, but let the sinner be taken by her. And basically with my great Uncle Willie, when he didn't do right with his actual daughter Nene, and she had grandkids, right? And the situation one time was that her grandkids, well, her kids, I meant, which is his grandkids, you know, Salaki about the confusion. Those kids actually got taken into foster care. I've only seen like a few of them, like, actually, I've only seen like two of them. And those will be pretty much my second cousins. So I've only seen like, yeah. And there's so much of them, like, I think there's like I don't know, like probably 4 or 5 of them, but she got all those kids basically taken away by foster care because of some drug shit, and that's, you know, some problem. And most of the times, you know, you will usually see people that have problems like that is because they didn't really have a father around. So yeah, And that in that case, that was you know, Uncle Willie's daughter's problem. He wasn't really around as a father to do the right thing, because he had some beef with her mother, you know. So he didn't do, and her mother's name was Daisy. He didn't do right with that woman, so he had to pay for that. And she was actually, a decent woman, you know, for him. Like, she was really like a sincere woman, and he didn't do her right. So now look what happened. He dealt with a whore from Santo Domingo, and look what she's doing to him. And eventually, like, it came to a point where he used to be religious, like Seventh-day Adventist. I heard my mom even said that. Then he became agnostic. He kind of didn't believe, and then at certain times he was a little contradicting. He became agnostic and then a little atheist, because he believed there was a higher power. Then he claimed that he don't believe in, none of that religion shit. I mean, I said, yeah, you're right in a way not to believe in Christianity, but when it's coming to, like, there is a higher power, and you know Christians don't really follow everything from the scriptures, but he stopped believing in those, in religious things because because of the shit that was happening to him. Oh, I mean, you wasn't humble with your life, you didn't do right with your daughter, and I mean, with the grandkids now, he could only allow them to be there for a certain time. You feel me? Like, basically, there was one time where, because this was happened like a couple months ago when I came to visit for Thanksgiving, because I didn't want to go with my mom because of my because I don't talk to one of my half siblings, which is like my half sibling on my mom's side, because they were having Thanksgiving at his place, and I was like, I'm not going. They wanted my younger brother Jaden to go. He didn't want to go either. So I'm like, shit, well, that's damn. And then I don't want to get too much into that, but so the problem was that when I went over there, I realized that my cousin, well, step cousin, moved out the apartment. So pretty much it was just like my second cousin, like, she was there, which is my my great uncle's grandkid, his granddaughter. Yeah. And then she basically was there. She told me, like, she works, and pretty much she, like, pays the bills and stuff like that. And my mom knows the situation too, and even Uncle Carlos, which is my other great uncle as well. Through my mom, he he know the situation too. That she was only allowed to be there for a certain time. She had to pay the bills and stuff like that. But if it was my cousin, Randy, which a lot of people, I mean, yeah, a lot of people will think that that's Uncle Willie's actual, son. He didn't really pay no bills or nothing. He pretty much just, I guess well, he just paid his own phone bill, but he was allowed to be there, pretty much. And for some reason in that apartment, they don't pay, like, light bills, because I guess, like, since my great uncle was like a super there, for the building for a little while, he get that type of benefit. So yeah, you know, it's pretty fucked up, and like how the situation is. So Beta's kids get to be there. They could live there. They could go right, back and forth there, basically. And my great uncle, Uncle Willie, like his child Nini and his grandkids can't be there like that. And it's like, this is your house. You the man. You supposed to, set the order. But that's what happens when you write down your when you're so much of a fucking simp and you write down your all your assets into this woman's name. God damn. That's the thing. When you have your head up a woman's ass, you know, you don't have knowledge. You know that? When you have your head up a woman's ass. Most of all, you don't have the understanding of the scriptures, you know? That's why this is the reason why Yahweh Shai is our head as a man. You know, Yahweh why Yahweh Shai. Because the head of Yahweh Shai is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Is the Heavenly Father himself. Right? Because he's the one that started this truth. You know, he's the founder of this truth. Then Yahweh Shai, which is like the living embodiment of this truth, like, you know, the our Lord and Savior, the role model that, you know, pretty much took the part in human flesh, you know, to basically to follow all the laws and commandments, to set himself as example for the men of the Lord in this truth. You know, he's our head. And then as the man, we're the head of the woman, you know, and then the children comes next, you know, and that same order follows. So, you know, when you see a woman pretty much like, and then you have this understanding, you will understand that women in general, their nature is, you know, female nature, let's just say that they're overgrown kids, you know what I mean? Because they are emotional. And this is just, you know, a proven fact. Women are more emotional than men. I don't give a damn if she claims she a dyke or a bull dyke or whatever the hell she is. She claims she is. Women are overgrown kids. They can't make decisions like that. And they need to be led by a man. And not just any man, but a man of the Lord. A man with his truth, you know. That's how it is. And a lot of men don't really have this truth. That's the fucking problem. You know? Because they end up basically making all the decisions, you know, getting all their decision making from the woman, you know. And there's even niggas out there that will pretty much do wickedness for a woman. And, you know, let's get that out. You know, that's why Ecclesiasticus 25:13 says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. You know? So, telling you that how wicked a woman is. In Ecclesiasticus 25, verse 19 says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Exactly. You know? And that's that's some wicked shit though. Because I remember there was one time, because this wicked shit that I'm mentioning is that my great uncle, Uncle Willie, he gets this woman, let's say like Sabeda, everything is in her name, and he listens to her, so she can't well, I mean, he can't kick his kids out if they do anything wrong, basically his so-called kids, which is you know, his stepkids, I meant, which is Sobeda's children. And those kids are, you know, what you call it, those are not his, you know. They didn't come from his seed line. And, you know, we gotta, you know, I gotta play it off like, you know. But I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, I know, one of his kids' name is Cindy. I know she knows. I don't know, he got, well, Randy when he was small, like a baby. So, I'm pretty sure he knows. But every time, but I kind of play it off like, you know, because, I mean, he never told me that that's not my father. That's not my actual father. He never told me that. So, I mean, we just all play it off like, you know, that's what it is. Because we don't say nothing about it. And he's a sick motherfucker for living a lie like that. And, trying to act like those are your fucking kids and knowing damn well it's not. And then you got an actual kid out there that's pretty much in the shelter right now as I speak. And then that's pretty much the reason why she has one of those problems where she always, you know, she's always going from one guy to another. And then not only that, she even tried woman at one point. Well, I think it's probably 2 points because one time she made a Facebook post saying she's gonna try a woman again, and my mom is like, she like to search up about people a lot. So she's pretty much like, yeah, and that's pretty much a childish thing to do in a way. So but that's how women are in general. Um, but yeah. So one of the wicked shit that Sabeda does is, which is his wife. She will say that he can't kick none of those kids out the house, right? And the kid that I feel like that's, I guess, the most problematic to my great uncle, is Randy, because he will pretty much like roll a blunt in the house. I used to, back when I was in the world, I used to smoke with him and shit like that too. And then Uncle Willie would kind of take it out on me a little bit, like in a way, like he would talk to me about it, that he don't want this in his house and all this shit. I'm like, listen, I'm not the one that called, that did it. He's the one that's fucking saying, oh, it's okay that we could do it. And then there be times where he catch this nigga red-handed with the blunt in his hand, rolling up, and knowing damn well there's a kid in the house, which is pretty much, Cindy, that's, she have a kid there, and his name is like Javian, so like that's one of the kids that she has. And then she sometimes he goes around the house and plays around, does what a kid would usually do. And what you call it? But she what's that shit? Yeah, Uncle Willie, like, he can't kick that kid Randy out the house, like that boy Randy. He can't kick him out the house because I told Randy, like, yo, bro, you gotta chill because I think your dad gonna kick you out if you keep doing like weed in the house and stuff like that. He said he not gonna kick me out, bro. He said it pridefully because he knows. Yeah, that boy used to come in the house like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, bring all type of girls in his house, in his room. Bro, that kid was living a good life. I couldn't live like that, man. He was living a good life. You know, he was living a real good life. Yep. But like they always, and that's pretty much the reason why, like, you will see him like, you know, um, pretty much like, I'll say like his friends, that he's, some of his friends around him that I've seen mostly, they actually have like a good future for themselves because some of them actually are doing things with their life. One of them is like doing something with acting, and he's a fork straight, and the other one pretty much doing other better things with his life. Graduated college and doing some like business things with his life. But he's just stuck there, like, pretty much. Well, at this point now, he's just claiming that he want to be a security guard and getting stimulus money and stuff like that. But and pretty much he's gonna move back to the apartment because back to where my great uncle lives. Because my great uncle claimed he's gonna go back to Santo Domingo, live there, and let's see if he actually does this time. And claim that he's gonna only come back to visit, to go back to America to, like, go to the doctor and shit like that. So I don't know how true is that, but it's pretty much wicked how he lets his wife pretty much make the decisions for him. She can't say he can't say a damn thing against it. You know, there were times where that kid Randy, that boy, he even what you call it? He gets away with a lot of shit. There were times where he even left the house to one point where he his mom even had to hit him in the back of his head for coming home late. That's because he used to come home to the point where it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, even as a teenager. Like, I was like, shit, I never used to do shit like that. I mean, I probably did it like a few times, but he did it like a lot of times. Like, and it's because his mom allows for the shit to happen. And then there was one time where my Uncle Willie, like, he was fed up to the point where, because Uncle Carlos told me about the story where, and this was kind of recent because it happened a few months ago, where he stole this guy, which is Cindy's husband. Well, no, that's no, he didn't really marry her through the through the way. Basically, it would be her husband in a way, but not through, the system, how East South sets up. So her boyfriend Conan basically lives in the house too, in the same apartment as Uncle Willie lives in, but he usually be in the room, and he has that kid JV, and that's his kid. So the problem was that there was $500 on the table, and what Conan did, since Conan likes to scam, he don't work or shit like that. He don't work. He be scamming. What he did was he stole like $200 out of the 500, and then there was $300 left. And this was what Uncle Carlos was telling me. Uncle Carlos, cause some of the stuff that Uncle Willie would tell Uncle Carlos, like, it will happen in the place, and Uncle Willie will tell Uncle Carlos, a lot of things that happened there. And then he kicked out what's his name? He kicked Conan out the house, and then Sabeda wanted Conan to come back. And I'm like, bro, he just stole from your husband, like, and you wanted him back in the house, and he came back. It's crazy, man. The type of shit that go on there. Uncle Willie has no say in that house. Man, that's his curse, man. That's a curse. And another thing it says in the scriptures in Ecclesiastes 25 verse 24. No wait, it's like it's verse 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to get abroad. Yeah. And at this point, like verse 26 says, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. So she's pretty much, at the point where you will want to divorce a woman like that. That's a woman that you have to let go. And that's why I say, marriage is pretty much a useless thing, because if you're trying to find that pillar arrest that woman that's a pillar arrest, like, you ain't gonna find that. Not in America, but that's rare. Yeah. And women that are here, you give them maybe 5 to 10 years, and as fucked up the society is, a few years, and it's like they're not the same, because then they're gonna have a lot of people around them that's gonna influence them to be that way. And you're gonna have films, movies, all that type of shit to influence them to be, wicked against their husband, and to do the wickedness gradually over time to the point where your husband wants to leave you. That's how women are. That's how wicked women are, especially in this country. But she came from from Santo Domingo, but she was a whore over there, because she was working in in the whorehouse, and prostitution is legal over there in Santo Domingo, in Dominican Republic. That's DR, in other words. And as the saying goes, pretty sure y'all already said it by now, that you can't make a whore into a housewife. They don't say that for no reason, and it's true. Because you being a whore, getting popped by almost every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, every Pookie, Ray, Tyrone out there, by every Chad, you're getting popped by left and right. You're going to have those same spirits, and that seminal fluid is going to be inside you, and you can't get that out of you. And that man's spirit is basically inside you. You can't rub it off of you. You can't wash it off of you. You can't detox it off of you. It's a spiritual thing. And I remember there was one time where because I know, like, he don't want his woman. He don't want. I mean, because obviously that's his wife, so he don't want her to basically be, pretty much he want to go to Santo Domingo with her, and almost all the time it's the same story. He's always staying in the house, like a damn fool. he don't end up going there to Santo Domingo with his wife. Most likely she doing some horror shit over there. And there was one time I remember my basically my cousin's friend, my step cousin's friend, this one which is Cindy, which is like Randy's sister. He she has a friend, named Kaiser, and there was one time her friend Kaiser, which is a female, because I know that name is like a guy could have that name too, but so her friend's father, I forgot, I don't know the name, but there was one time where it was they're in like a family, I don't know, they had like a family meeting or some shit, and it was at Uncle Willie's place, and Sabeda was pretty much dancing, which is Uncle Willie's wife. She was dancing with that with Kaiser's father. So since her father was dancing, with Uncle Willie's wife, which is Sabeda, he was dancing with her, and the way they were dancing was kind of little something that a man is supposed to do with his husband, with his wife, you know. And it's like I heard one time there was a little altercation about it, because Uncle Willie pushed the man down the staircase, out of his apartment. He pushed him down the staircase, and the man could have sued him, but he just let it rock for some, and he never showed up back there ever again, and it's like, Sabeda knows that, and that's wicked about women too, because if you know damn well your husband is like that for you, first of all, even if he's not like that for you, you shouldn't even be thinking about doing that in the fucking first place. And another thing he did was what you call it? Another thing he does is, like, in the house, is like, you can't, like, when you laugh at him, if he's mentioned something about, let's say, smoking or anything, if you mention anything like that and he gets upset when you laugh at him, because one time my cousin was saying that, my dad get tight when you laugh, bro. Because there was one time where he looked like he wanted to kind of like, he looked like he wanted to get it, like, like he looked like he wanted to have beef with me, like, like he was about to, like, really, like start, like, fess some shit up. And I was like, I told him, yo, chill. And then my cousin had to say, he had to tell his dad to chill. And I'm like, because I'm not the one that, started the smoking thing in the house. That was my cousin, and I told him, let's go outside to do it. And that was, like, before I came to the truth, obviously. That shit was crazy. And it's like, he's a joke, and that's how I felt like, and to this day I don't feel nothing bad about, thinking that he's a joke, because, bro, I mean, look at the people that take advantage of you. You got your son taking advantage of you, and then you got your wife taking you as a fool. So I know shit like that makes him tight, having just another person in the house that's, I mean, that's family, but, like, it's a guest still, because I don't really live there. My name not on the lease and shit like that. And he treats him, I mean, and then just for, me to, like, I guess, laugh at him or whatever, he going through a lot of shit. That shit make him tight. Well, you should have never did wrong by your daughter in the first place. Maybe you wouldn't have been in this condition if you did the right thing. Sometimes some people, they feel like they're untouchable, and it's like the Most High gotta, put them in their place and show them where they done wrong, and that they should have never done that. So, but yeah, but that's pretty much it from that story, and I feel like that's one of the biggest problems a lot of men face in this country, is mainly, like, they, with that simping shit, especially our people, and then that's some wicked shit. That's tender dick type of mindset. That's a tender dick type of energy, that feminine energy that be in men, and then having these women to be masculine, having these women to make decisions that a man is supposed to be making for the family, taking on roles in the family that a man is supposed to take, and then you got the woman doing that. Nah, that's fucked up. This man has a fucking one of those fucking government track phones, and then she got an iPhone, like one of the latest updates. And her another thing about her English is that it's not really that good. It's like it's a little it's still a little bad, but she mostly speaks Spanish, and he what you call it, another thing about him, about Uncle Willie, is that he allowed, like, she be driving, like, his wife be driving a lot, you know. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, the situation. It's like I only got to pick up certain things that happen in the house and stuff like that, but other than that, some stuff mom had to tell me, and Uncle Carlos, when I was speaking to him, he mentions it to mom as well. So, he spoke to me about some of the situations, things that happen, which is messed up. But hope I made the lesson edifying. Hope, that part of the story that y'all heard, which hope y'all were edified through that. Definitely do not want to be like my great uncle. And with that, I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Adonai, Yahweh, Bashem, Shalom, Yahweh, Shai, Bashem, Kakadash, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace and teacher, the hopeful elect, Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Shalak, Rayam, Adawam, Yom, Go, Yam, Wa, Ababa, Shalom.